Is this the best time or the worst time for the Arizona Cardinals to be going through their bye week? What do they have to do to turn it all around, if anything? Let's discuss.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily Arizona Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Cardinals, Alex Clancy here. Thanks for hanging out. Lot to talk about today, and let's get right to it. Gonna bring my buddy in. You know, he asked me for a favor, that guy right there. And, I guess we may as well just do it. Bo Brack PHNX Cardinals joining me. What's up, dude?
I guess I'm happy to be here. I'm present. We'll just say that as I'm talking to Alex behind a gigantic checkers board. Ready to talk about this team that is just in a free fall. Continue with no parachute, it looks like.
We've been doing this for a long time now. Like, dude, we've been doing this for almost 15 years in this space, which is crazy. And going into this season, it seemed like this was the first one that was going to really pay off. Like, everything incrementally led you to believe that this team could make a playoff push this year. That already didn't happen, and we're now further behind than we were with this team last year. Going into the bye, is this a good time for it to fester, or is this the worst time on the planet for them to not be able to play football on Sunday?
I think that the bye came at a good time. Like, you have to recalibrate this thing to some extent. It wasn't working week in and week out. You weren't able to make the necessary changes on the fly. They had a little bit of a mini bye after the Thursday night football, and they didn't come out and win the next game. They found multiple ways to lose that. Actually suffered the worst loss of this regime's history to the Tennessee Titans. So, yeah, I think you just need to finally get some rest, figure out, look at the tape, look at where things have gone awry, and if you can fix it. But at this point, 2-5, you just got to find a way to stop the bleeding. And I don't think it matters if you're on bye or if you got to play the next week. You just got to find a way to win the next day. Next game.
It's so hard to rationalize a 13-point differential in 5 losses. And it's not the same way. They're wildly different ways that it's happened. Seattle, that was the most fight they showed in a quarter until, Jacoby Brissett took over at Indy. Like, everything, we always used to say the worst thing, there's only one worse thing than having a problem and not knowing what it is. There's no world that we have no idea what the problem is. Quarterback, it's defense. The defense is great for 3 quarters. They're terrible in the 4th. Is it coaching? Is it production? Is it the defense getting tired because the offense couldn't produce? Like, there's no Venn diagram for this because you have no idea what the hell the blame pie looks like.
Right. And look, you have to play probably a 60-minute mistake-free football game in order to kind of find out what's on the other side. And that's asking a lot because this league is tough. As far as trying to avoid the mistakes, but I'm even talking about not even turnovers. I'm talking about 3rd down. Marvin Harrison Jr. gets, a clear first down catch and he can't haul it in. Sure, they avoided being more of a bigger mistake than it being a fumble going the other way, but they were entering scoring territory there, and that could be the difference. Or with 7 seconds left, right, you have a 30-yard pass play, and some guy who's destined to be an elementary school teacher, kicks the kick of his life for 61 yards. And that's the difference there. And it's like, you look at the Titans game, you look at all these missed opportunities, like everything has to be perfect, or there's going to be the door open. And you're the type of team right now where opposing teams take advantage of it. And that's your demise week in and week out.
Do you think this coaching staff is in over their head?
Like right now, absolutely. Gannon said it the other day, Alex, where it was like, somebody asked him, are they in crisis right now? He's like, you said it, not me, but we've faced adversity right now. We faced adversity as an organization. We're facing it right now. They understand that they're in the thick of something that is, for them, feels a little unprecedented. It's like first time we've been covering this team a long time, but yeah, I mean, they are in crisis and they're trying to figure it out. So yes, like I think that you're never feeling stable and you're never feeling like you could be stoic in like a sound of mind when you're facing crisis like this.
I think the microcosm of that, because I agree, is going forward on 4th and 1 with 5 minutes left. Perfect. Thank you for not punting. Thank you for not kicking a field goal there. and, well, you wouldn't be a field goal, but for not punting, and the most lunacy-laden play call choice with an interior defensive line on the other side of the ball that has been wreaking havoc all day, and you've got me in the backfield as the only backup for Jacoby Brissett, where you've got the flying V from Mighty Ducks when Jalen Hurts is running it. Like, have a better variation of that, or throw the damn ball. Like, you're running right into the fire without any sort of safety. So I don't understand that was the choice. And I think that's over their head. It's like, okay, this is the easiest way. You run straight. That's the fastest way to get a first down. And then on the other side, Tucker Kraft with a nice little out route to extend that drive. It's like, that's a differentiator here between, Matt LaFleur and Drew Petzing.
Sure. No doubt about it. I mean, Petzing drew that play up with, the infamous Demicado play where everybody in the stadium thought it was going to be Jacoby Brissett sneaking for 1 yard, and they end up, giving it to Amari, and he goes 71 3/4 of a yard, and it looks like it's an unbelievable play call. It's like, do you have anything else? I mean, the one thing I'll say about that play call, though, it's been pretty successful this season. Like, Jacoby has been able to not only just get 1 yard, like most of those carries, he's getting 2, 3, 4 yards.
But it's read the room with who you're playing against.
Sure.
And what's been happening with the interior of the offensive line. We'll talk about that in the next segment because, I'm sure you guys have talked about on your show with Johnny, is Kyler 10 sacks? 11? Like, how high can it go for what he struggled with interior pressure and what Jacoby Brissett was able to withstand, in his frame? That could have been, easily double-digit sacks if that was Kyler with the way the interior of the offensive line played.
Yeah, and what Jacoby has the ability to do is kind of be the cure-all with the ability to throw the ball downfield, right? Like, find plays beyond the sticks when it's third and forever because of what happened, what transpired on first and second down, which would probably happen with Kyler. Sure, he evades it here and there, but for the most part, consistently you're probably seeing negative plays. But Jacoby's we've seen two of the biggest, longest pass plays on third and long for the Cardinals. For sure from this regime, but dating back to the Cliff days.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they were just on the money. Marv was it just let your guys go make plays.
Right.
And that's what Jacoby was able to do. Now, one last thing about coaching. I'm bouncing around a little bit, but one last thing about coaching here. Does Jonathan Gannon, when he was talking about Kyler's injury and things like that, he looks he looks like it's the 3.5 year of a presidency.
Mm-hmm.
He's aged 50 years in 3. He doesn't have that exuberance anymore. It seems obviously losing does that, but you guys have built a good relationship with him. Does he look dejected? Does he look already defeated?
I mean, I think anybody in this situation would look dejected, defeated. When you're losing 5 games in a row in the NFL, that's over a quarter of your season, right? That's usually reserved for teams picking atop the draft that don't have playoff expectations. When you see this roster, it's not devoid of talent. There's good players on this roster. You can nitpick and say this guy sucks, and maybe he's a part of the reason they're losing. But I think that when you're searching for answers, and then also amidst this entire thing, he's gone up there, taken the microphone, and said things that people when you're losing. They'll twist your words, or whether or not they're twisting them, they're just taking them at face value, and they're painting them up as just negative. Check out this guy, and I think he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. And also, would he compound? Especially when he's talking about Kyler, just in this example, but for many different things that he's very tight-lipped on and short, is he doesn't want to add fuel to that fire right now because they've got a bye week. Why would you want to stoke those flames going into, basically having, 15 days off?
Yeah, no, that's right. And we're going to get into it. We'll do the obligatory Kyler Jacoby. For me, it's not Jacoby. It's Kyler or somebody else. And my biggest issue is somebody else has made this offense hum right away when this has been struggling for the better part, on and off for the last, year and a half with some great moments last year, not as many this year. Bo Brack PHNX Cardinals joining me here. We'll discuss more next. This episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by friends at Game Time app. NFL season's back. Honestly, there's nothing better than being in the stadium. Usually you'd hope that your team would put out a better product for 60 minutes than what we've seen from the Cardinals. But let's be honest. Getting tickets can be a hassle between queues, login screens, price jumps at checkout. All of it's frustrating. And that's why I use Game Time. The app gives you the advantage. And for all the fans that use it, it's fast, easy, backed by the Game Time guarantee. You'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all fees are included. So the price you see is the price you pay. On top of that, for me, I'm actually going to Austin to see Jim Gaffigan with my mom because it's been a bucket list item for her later this week. And I got the tickets on Game Time. She was like, I'm looking at all these different sites. I can't figure out anything. I'm like, download the app, look at it. And she got tickets in minutes. Like, that is an absolute true story. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. All right. Please go to the YouTube channel, search Locked On Arizona Cardinals. Hit that subscribe button, man. You know the drill. My buddy Bo Brack joining me here, commiserating. I've seen a different tone in your tweets in how you talk to me about this team. You were always the rational one, and I was always the right one. You know, you were the safe space. I was the one that told the truth all the time. So like this like transference of excitement to fear of how did we get here again is obviously reaching a fever pitch because Jacoby Brissett has come out and just used old man strength and just run this offense. And this is without any sort of real semblance of a run game. You know? Like, this has become a pass-first team overnight. Kudos to Drew Petzing for leaning in. He's like, this is what needs to happen. There's two options. I don't see this as a quarterback controversy. Do you? Like, talk me through now on moving forward.
No, I don't think you can't deny that the offense runs better with Jacoby Brissett at the helm. But also you have to put Kyler Murray back in there, I think, after these two performances and just to have – because I know you have the previous 5 weeks, but now seeing what it's supposed to look like, you have to see if Kyler can counter that. And, you know, I understand people who would be skeptical who are yelling at their screens right now and saying, we know it's year 7, this and that. But this is a team that has invested in Kyler Murray. They've got him under contract the rest of the season. They have a pretty good, easy defense they're going up against that Kyler's had success against. Like, if he goes back there and they revert back to the weeks 1 through 5 offense, then your decision becomes easy. Like, the good thing would be if Kyler Murray goes in there and creates a true controversy and says, well, we have this data here that says Jacoby Brissett looks rock solid through 2 straight starts. We don't know any different. And then Kyler Murray counteracts that and says, here's this really good Kyler performance. And then we move forward from there. But I think you have to do that. Like, there's so many reasons. Like, there's no benefit for them to Russell Wilson. Like the Broncos did. Like, I think you have to kind of put him on display and make sure that people think and believe that you think he's a good quarterback and he can be a good quarterback, because that becomes one of your assets this offseason as far as the changes that you need to make.
Which seems to be so many more than expected. I mean, so I did today's show or yesterday's show, and I looked at a couple different angles of this, one of which is obviously optics. Okay, so this isn't just this season. Mm-hmm. If Kyler Murray is a healthy scratch at any point this year, he's not going to be an Arizona Cardinal next year. I think that's pretty obvious to say.
Yeah.
But, and this is the bleeped up part about it, Bo Brack, he gives you the best chance to catch lightning in a bottle, win 7 in a row, and get back in contention. You know, like, the offense, the floor for Jacoby Brissett is meteorically higher than Kyler Murray's floor. But the ceiling will always be Kyler's. So we've seen, it's just true. I mean, we haven't seen it as much, and you'd much rather have a high floor than a high ceiling that maybe you hit twice a game. But you can't play safe. Now playing safe is starting Jacoby Brissett swinging for the fences and playing Kyler Murray moving forward, especially with how difficult these teams are going up against. So I know it's an inexact science, but you got to start him with, like, there's not a controversy because it's Kyler Murray. Like, you're starting him. You're going down with the ship with Kyler Murray and Jonathan Gannon and everybody else. But because if you sit him, that's it. Right? I mean, that's it forever.
Right. Yeah. It becomes where you really do lose. You get what? You get pennies on the dollar for Kyler Murray in the offseason if you do that. If you punt on him returning and you just say it's Jacoby's team and we can't trust Kyler to do what we thought, like we built around him for, then it's going to really kind of sully. He's going to be damaged goods. Like there's going to be some arrogant, there's going to be some cocky play callers around the league that says I can take that skill set and I can get him back to his 2021 form. But like he's going to have to show a lot. I think he's not as bad as he showed through the first 5 weeks. I don't think he was like the biggest problem, but at the same time, like there was some risk aversion as far as how he was running this offense. And I don't know if that was coaching points and he just took him too much. And Jacoby showed, hey, you got to be able to take those shots downfield because now without James Conner, without Trey Benson, we need that to survive. But that's part of this, like, it's not an experiment, but putting them back in there, that's what you have to see for yourself.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it's going to be glaringly obvious if it just reverts back. And it's like, I don't know why you would change, like, okay, so this guy's 7 inches taller, so let's completely change the game plan. It's like, I know that he's not as mobile as Kyler. I know all of it. I watch, I see it. But, like, it's not even the same team the last 2 weeks. And those are against teams atop their respective conferences. This isn't Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Like, people have knocked his leadership for a while, and I've always kind of poo-pooed. It's like, listen, your quarterback doesn't have to be a rah-rah leader. He has to be somebody that people respect. He busts his ass, and he's somebody you can rely upon on game day. They had multiple come-from-behind wins last year, but they've had weeks 1, 2, 3, first 3 weeks, and Tennessee, they had the opportunity to get a couple first downs and end the game in victory formation, and they couldn't. And they're never able to with him, ever. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the last victory formation this team had that wasn't a blowout.
Right.
Even with Cliff, it's like, 39 seconds, punt it away. It's like, then you're on the mercy of the opposing offense, like they were today. They were last week also. Like, it's just, I don't know if it's just a categorical thing that they can't fix, but that's something that when you're looking at him through a broader lens for the future, it's like, does it matter how he plays the rest of the year this year? Save them making the playoffs? Like, are we gone? Is it too far gone?
It feels like it, but it feels like that with everything right now. Yeah. I mean, like I said, like the dark cloud of the 5-game losing skid, like it makes everything look like it's you can't salvage anything, from a coaching staff that's lost its new coaching staff, feel and it's like I think the majority of people saying they want to move on off of Gannon and all that, like. Who would have expected that at this point, this early in the season? But I mean, open up any social media platform, look at the comments, and you'll see that people want change. So, yeah, I don't. There's nothing that people are universally outside of maybe Trey McBride where they're like, yes, I love this. This is great, because everything else, it's just like sky's fun.
Yeah, it's funny. I said on the Cardinal Squad Show that's the only entity that you can trust now.
Right.
You can't trust anything else. I mean, Paris probably. But with Will Johnson being CB1, Max Melton has been very, very hot and cold. It's like everything, like pass rush isn't getting home anymore. Like it's just things are. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a lot. What can the Cardinals do to turn things around though? Because it is only 7 weeks in. They do have 10 more games. They got to win 8 of them. But what can they do to turn things around? They have enough talent to be able to have the conversation at least. We're not talking about the Jets. We'll discuss that next. Today's episode of Locked On Cardinals brought to you by, FanDuel. NFL season's here. FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. New customers, bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. You want to pick who's going to win the Super Bowl? It's never been more wide open, man. You want to throw a single game parlay in on Thursday Night Football this week? You can do that also. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com, download the FanDuel app today, and get started. And now a word from my buddy, Cody Rourke, over at Locked On Broncos.
I'm Cody Rourke from Locked On Broncos, and this episode is brought to you by Peloton. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. This is Peloton's most advanced equipment yet, giving you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or you're cross-training with your favorite instructors like Alex Toussaint. It's training reimagined to make your workout more personal. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with features that help you plan, stay motivated, and hit peak performance. You can let yourself run, lift, flex, and go while Peloton handles all the rest. Plus, Peloton IQ provides real-time strength coaching, tracking your progress and suggesting weights that challenge you so you can get stronger. Plus, the new movement tracking camera, it counts your reps and corrects your form in real time, making sure every rep is safer and smarter. So let yourself run, lift, flex, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
Wrapping up here. FanDuel's over, man. Why are we doing these overlays still? Bo. So I want to ask you one last thing before we pivot to how they can turn things around. Drew Petzing gave one of the most out-of-touch responses. This was after the Indy game, but we haven't talked in a while. Where he said the offense, paraphrasing, pretty much looked the same. You're muted. Pretty much looked the same with Jacoby in there as with Kyler the previous 5 weeks at that point. When you get an answer like that, do you say, "What are you talking about, Drew?" Like, how do you guys take that? I take it as like a sign of disrespect and just condescension towards guys who bust their ass every day to be there. But obviously,
no, I mean, look, and that's the thing. I think there's a disconnect between because people always want you to ask like the tough question and get to the bottom of things. But those type of answers are kind of signals to me like they're not going to give you anything. Yeah. If they're going to give you some disingenuous hyperbole like that, then you're not going to get anywhere with, even if you're asking the most articulate or best well put question you can think of that's to the point, or pressing a coach, whether it's Gannon or Petzing or Rollis or whoever it may be. It's just, if you're going to get that, just like we got Gannon saying after the Niners game that he thought Petzing called his best game of the season, like that's where you just kind of you roll your eyes and you say, well, if that's where it's going to go, if that's what the type of answer you're going to receive, then we're not having a peer-to-peer conversation. We're not having one where I'm asking you a genuine question, you're giving me an authentic answer, because now it's just they're in protect mode. They're protecting themselves, their livelihood, their players, their coaching staff, and not trying to throw anybody under the bus. And they're just speaking in hyperbole and disingenuously. So I just don't. I understand how it riles people up, but at the same time, I understand like they're trying to figure it. That's just a signal to me. They're just trying to figure it out, and they're trying to keep a smokescreen to not let these things fester. Like we all know, like everybody knows the score here. Like Jacoby Brissett has played really well. Coming off that Indy performance, it has been the best offensive performance to date. And I think he was just trying to avoid like, well, if it looked different, for Jacoby, and Jacoby was doing this with the offense, and the offense was, at its optimal level, how come Kyler can't do that? Like, where's, it would become an indictment on K1. So I understand why he kind of fell on the sword, was willing to make a bad quote like that, because, if you really asked him and he was going to be honest with you, he'd probably tell you he wasn't being honest in that situation.
You know what? We're not going to do the turn things around segment. I want to get more in depth with this, because with the coaching, especially, like I'm getting in my comments, you're not blaming the defense enough. You're not blaming the defense enough. So has Nick Rallis weakened his look as a head coach in this league, even though the offense through the first 5 weeks, and they were giving up 19 points a game, and then, went up against a Daniel Jones team and then held Jordan Love pretty much at bay for a good chunk of that game. Like, you think he's going to get looks, or do you think the defense is something that is kind of hindering his movement, in the process?
Yeah, I think organizationally, they're kind of they've hit a roadblock here until further notice. Like they're going to have to really figure out, a path forward and start to find some more success before we start talking about, who projects as a head coach. And I think that those things have been, indefinitely put on pause until the team finds a way forward.
How the hell are we here? It's everything. And this wasn't rose-colored glasses, man. We saw the things change. We saw everything change. And it's still, I mean, the one last thing, we'll get you out of here on this. Like, if I'm Drew Petzing, I'm going, like, hypothetically speaking, I'm going into JG and Monty's office being like, give me Jacoby or I'm going to lose my job. Like, and this is obviously hypothetical, rhetorical, never going to happen, like something like this. And then Monty's going to say, we came here for Kyler. Kyler's the guy, and when he's healthy, he's starting just like JG said. So put everything to rest. Agree with me because I know you're going to. Kyler Murray is the quarterback, healthy, period.
Correct.
Like, what needs to happen for Kyler Murray to not be the quarterback when he's healthy?
I mean, this is a bad defense. Matt Eberflus is, they were able to put up an ugly number on him in Chicago, or when Chicago came to town last year, and there's a lot of familiarity there. I know that, Clayton Adams is in Dallas too, and he's got a lot of familiarity as well. But like offensively, as it pertains to Kyler, he's got to have a performance. He's got to remain undefeated in that stadium just to I think make his case. So like if he can go out there and I think people could make the same case that Jacoby would have success against this Dallas defense, but Kyler has to do it, and it has to look a lot different than weeks 1 through 5. And then like it becomes a week-to-week thing.
A week-to-week thing is just unbelievable. And to the Cardinals' luck, Max Crosby may be a Cowboy at that point.
Man.
They're already making calls and whatever. Like, this is going to be wild not having a game this week with all of the trade rumors and everything. I'm assuming the Cardinals will not be making any sort of move one way or the other. So it'll be fascinating. Bo, tell people where they can find you, dude.
Yeah, PHNX Cardinals, just like Alex, like Clancy, we're talking about this team every day. Find us on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts.
Remember, without you, not you, the viewers, everydayers, there is no me. I'll talk to you later.